Hello and welcome to my week 2 thread posting for Share a Problem. I thought I'd walk you through a question that kind of plagued me the other day when I was at a craft brewery. I had the opportunity to go with my regular drink, which was their standard IPA, aptly named the IPA, and it had an alcoholic concentration of 7.2%, or to try a different one that they had on rotation, which was El Bruto, and that was 8.6% IPA. And so I was really kind of looking forward to, getting a little bit more bang for my buck, so to speak, get a little bit more alcohol into the glass, and maybe I wouldn't have to buy as many beers until I started feeling a little bit good. So I went ahead and I ordered the El Bruto, but the bartender told me that it came in a 10-ounce pour and asked me if that was okay. What that meant is that they were going to give me a glass with only 10 ounces of the beer in it, as opposed to their normal 12 ounces that they provide for every other beer. And so I thought about it for a second, and I just decided to go with the old standard IPA and went ahead and got a 12-ounce pour of that. But as I was sitting there, I was starting to contemplate whether or not that was a good call, because I wasn't sure if I would have more alcohol in the glass that I was sipping on at that point, or if I should have gone with the El Bruto. So of course, I'm going to share that problem with you. And kind of the neat thing about some of the algebraic line equations that I like to use really kind of formats basic algebra into fractions where you have numerators and denominators, and it's just kind of easier to solve out, but you can kind of see where the root is there. Also, we're delving a little bit into the metric system, which is part of the lesson for this week too. So as we progress through the problem, we'll end up doing some conversions from the imperial system of measurement into the metric system because it is way easier to use. First, I want to take a look at the etymology of the word percent, and it comes from Latin meaning percentum or per 100. And so quite literally, when we talk about a beer being 7.2%, what that's telling us is that there are 7.2 milliliters for every of alcohol for every 100 milliliters of water. And we can do the same thing with El Bruto over here. And so there's 8.6 milliliters of alcohol for every 100 milliliters of water. And so what I wanted to know is how much alcohol I was getting in either one of those beers. So how many milliliters of alcohol would I be getting? And for a 12-ounce pour, we could just go ahead and put 12 ounces here because I want to know how many milliliters is in a 12-ounce pour, and I could put 10 ounces over here, figure out how many milliliters of alcohol I'm getting in a 10-ounce pour. But the problem is because I don't have like terms, I can't cross multiply and divide and do anything that I normally do with this. So I need to be able to convert the ounces here in the imperial unit of measurement into the metric. And so I happen to know that 1 ounce is equivalent to roughly 28.41 milliliters. And so we're doing some rounding here. So roughly 28.41 milliliters for every ounce. So at this point, I just go ahead and I convert the 12 ounces into milliliters. So 12 times 28.4 is going to be 340.92. And then the 10 ounces here is going to be very easily converted to 84.1. Get my decimal in there a little bit better. All right, so now what we can just do is we can just go ahead and cross multiply and divide. We have x times 100, and that is going to be 100x. And that is going to be equal to 340.92 times 7.2. And we end up getting 2,400 and 54.624. Now, the thing is we can go ahead and drop off the 4 there because it doesn't round that up. So 2,454.62, and in order to solve for x or to isolate the variable, we're going to divide by 100 on each side. And this goes ahead and moves your decimal places over 2, and so x equals 24.5. And then taking a look at the hundredths place and determining whether or not we're going to round that, we look at the thousandths, and because it's over 5, go ahead and round that up to 24.55 milliliters, and that is how many milliliters of alcohol you're going to get in a 12-ounce pour of the IPA. Now we just go ahead and wash, rinse, repeat for El Bruto over here. So we can go ahead and cross multiply and divide, and so we end up with 100x is equals to, and then we take 284.1, multiply that by 8.6, and we get 2,443.26. Okay, and again, in order to isolate the variable, that's where this wonderful algebra comes into play here. We're going to divide by 100 on each side, and we end up with x is equal to 24.43. We don't need to round up because the next number there is a 2. So here, for a 10-ounce pour of El Bruto, I would be receiving or imbibing 24.43 milliliters as opposed to 24.55 milliliters of alcohol with a 12-ounce pour on the IPA. So I really think that I made the right choice. Not only did I get a couple more sips of beer, but I also got a little bit more alcohol in the end run. So there's my shared problem for this week. Hopefully you all don't think that I'm a lush. Cheers.